Hello everyone and welcome back to Calliope Music Reviews. My name is Colin and this is the Music Canon. Today seems like an important day. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's because we got 30 songs and over 70 minutes of new Playboi Carti music? Okay, let me calm down and give some context first. So I'm sure if you clicked on this video, then you already know who Playboi Carti is. But if you don't know, Carti is a bit of an enigma, initially entering the underground hip-hop scene as a pretty rough and raw cloud rap act on SoundCloud around 2014. It wouldn't be until his 2017 self-titled mixtape where his mix of hazy plug production and southern hip-hop influence, along with other SoundCloud rising stars like Lil Uzi Vert, would take the world by storm. His incredibly catchy but laid-back flows and impressively hypnotic cloud rap sound would manifest into a bit of an opus for the trap genre with his 2018 debut LP, Die Lit. Since the release of that record, Carti has really garnered a cult following, and a dedicated one at that. He's really leaned into that cult status as well, with the violent and vampiric rage sound of 2020's Whole Lotta Red. Now, this is where the lore of Playboi Carti starts to go beyond the scope of this review, as he kind of just stopped releasing music for a while, furthering his mysterious and mythical status. However, after almost 5 years of controversy, leaks, and a whole lot of drugs, we finally get a new studio album, ironically titled just Music. So here we are in 2025 with music, and allow me to describe this music. So the first thing that jumps out about this record is its extremely crunchy and violent trap production, spiked with some pretty intense 8-bit video game-like synths and drums. This is simply a dope sound, brutalizing convention through vicious guitar samples, futuristic synthesizers, and aggressive 808 bass. I would go as far as to say that pretty much every track here has a solid foundation of cool synth and guitar leads alongside a punchy low end and all the ad-libs in the world to build a fierce and homicidal atmosphere. However, and I think this becomes more apparent as the record progresses, but it's that most songs kind of just fail to take that rabid foundation beyond 30-second snippets of these same sample loops and increasingly basic trap drum rhythms. Now, Carti is a man of many voices, and whether it's a Kermit the Frog, Wheezy, Literal Baby, or Future impression, these fluctuations do add some seasoning and variance to the record. But when literally the same exact 808 and tediously repetitive hi-hats are used in 90% of the songs, it gets kind of boring over the course of 30 tracks. Even with a myriad of guest verses, the record is never truly able to transcend its initial vibe for more rewarding fluctuations and progressions. I will say, some surprise features like The Weeknd on Rather Lie, or Kendrick Lamar on Good Credit, and even Young Thug on We Need All the Vibes, do add another level to the energy and songwriting of the record. Something that I definitely can't say about the goofy DJ Swamp Izzo ad-libs and rather quick and empty verses from Travis Scott, Lil Uzi Vert, and Future. But in the end, this is an interesting and rather dance-worthy sound with a lot of refreshing textures. It's just that the songwriter doesn't really utilize those textures to take the songs anywhere of importance, really. Alright, so it's been 5 years, and I'm sure Carti has a lot to say, a lot to get off of his chest on this album, right? Well, not really. Now, Carti has never been known as a lyricist, so it shouldn't exactly be a surprise that this record is almost entirely composed of vain lyrics about sex, designer brands, machine guns, and boatloads, yacht loads of pain-killing drugs. This is obviously rather unoriginal, but I would say that the most distinct part of Carti's lyrics is just his full embrace of villainy, often referencing evil acts like murder, kidnapping, and pimping to paint himself as some dark and ghoulish supervillain. This complements the equally wicked instrumentation for sure, but isn't exactly supported by an MF Doom skill for rhyme scheme and flow. And honestly, that's okay. Carti doesn't have to be a lyrical genius to deliver a sick vibe, but some of these lines are truly disappointing. And so let's take a look at some of my favorites from this record. Okay, so this is the second verse on the 9th track, Fine Shit, where Carti says, "In New York, I stepped in my Timbs. I can't feel my limbs. I just canceled one of my shows to watch me a film. I bought that hoe a lot of clothes, but she loves her Skims." Yeah, so here Carti just admits that he'd rather watch a movie than perform his music at a show that his die-hard fans paid hard-earned money for. He then adds insult to injury, giving a glorified advertisement for Kim Kardashian's Skims clothing brand. I mean, damn. Okay, so here's another verse from Crank where Carti enlightens us by saying, "My vibes are tough hoes. I leave her, she slams doors. Closed casket, whoa whoa." So I think Carti is saying that he straight up killed his girl for slamming the door on the way out after he dumped her. What the? Then he goes on and just ignores the significance of that, instantly changing the subject to talk about money and a chorus that manages to say the word free throw more times than LeBron James gets to the free throw line in an actual basketball game. Anyways, there are lots of goofy lines like this from Carti and friends on this record. Most of them just kind of funny and not truly offensive or anything. But regardless, the lyrics don't end up adding much to the music here. However, in the end, the album still does present a callous but pretty fun sound anchored by cold-blooded and aggressive 8-bit production. Unfortunately, when the verse and songwriting is rather bare and it persists through the majority of the 76-minute record, it becomes a bit of an inflated and tiresome experience. With all of that in consideration, I'm ultimately feeling a 4 out of 10 for Playboi Carti's music, the album that is. Sifting through all 30 songs, I think the top 3 include the 4th track, Evil Jordan, Rather Lie with The Weeknd, and the simply excellent Rage track, I See You, Baby Boy. And alright, that's it. That'll do it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this review of the new Playboi Carti record. I know this could be a polarizing review for some, but as always, I highly encourage you to form your own opinion and let me know what you think of music in the comments below. Of course, you can recommend me any other artists or albums that you would like me to cover on this channel in the future. And with that, this has been Playboi Carti, the Music Canon, and I will see you guys in the next one.